Hey everyone, this is a video I've been meaning to make for a very long time, and I've finally gotten around to doing it. So I guess we should start at the beginning. Back in December 21st of 2012, Disney acquired Lucasfilm, and they got access to the rights for Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Then in 2015, we had The Force Awakens, which came out, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, everybody loved it back then. Sure, there were complaints about how it was kind of similar to the original trilogy, especially A New Hope, but generally, people seemed to receive it pretty well. Then we got Rogue One in 2016, which people back then really liked Rogue One. I don't know why. I was kind of... I don't know. I always thought that Rogue One was kind of like, eh. I feel like people like Rogue One because it has that scene with that one character at the very end of the film. Because when I remember people posting about that on YouTube, on social media, it's like, oh my god, guys, did you see that one scene? It was really great. And then after that, we had The Last Jedi in 2017, and it was like a fucking nuke got dropped on the fandom. I mean, it split the fandom in two. There were TLJ defenders, there were TLJ haters, and ultimately it was not a fun time to be a Star Wars fan in 2017 when that movie came out. Then in 2018 we got Solo, which I don't think anybody gave a shit about. And then in 2019 we got The Rise of Skywalker, which is unique in the sense that it actually united the fan base. So TLJ split the fan base, and then Tross reunited the fan base. So the haters and the defenders were on the same side. They were like, yeah, Tross kind of sucks. Like, it's not good. And I think this is around the same time that people were like, yeah, Tross is probably the worst Star Wars movie ever made. I mean, there were some people saying that about TLJ, but pretty much everybody was saying, yeah, Tross is probably the worst. And then after that, we didn't get another Star Wars movie. We still haven't had another Star Wars movie. I think that, Mando and Grogu is supposed to come out next year. But, I mean, I'm not going to go see it. Shit. And so then after TLJ, or not TLJ, after Tross, we got Mandalorian Season 1. And then... let me see if I remember this correctly. Mando Season 2. And then between Mando Season 2 and 3, we had Book of Boba Fett. And then after that, we got Ahsoka, Acolyte, which I think Acolyte is still the lowest rated Star Wars thing ever made, which is pretty funny, but also really fucking sad. And then after Acolyte, I think we got... I don't remember what came first. It was... no, I think Skeleton Crew started before Andor Season 2. So Skeleton Crew, I have not heard anybody talk about. And Andor is an anomaly, because it's like a show that has united the fan base in, like, saying it's good. Like, I have never seen the fan base be united and say something is legitimately good since, like, shit, the OT, I guess. Or maybe, like, one of the video games, like Battlefront 2, 2005, or fucking KOTOR 2. But this is, like, the first time in memory that the fandom has been united on saying, yeah, the show's pretty good. I mean, there are even people saying that this is as good as the original trilogy, which is insane. Now, admittedly, I haven't seen it yet, because I'm kind of in my Disney boycott phase. Like, it started out with just Star Wars stuff, but now it's like, yeah, I'm done with Disney. So I don't know. But everybody who I trust when it comes to media says, yeah, no, it's legitimately good. So, I mean, that's a good thing. I'm glad. But it's kind of weird that it happened in the first place, right? Like, Disney creates the sequel trilogy, which is one of the worst sequel trilogies of all time. And then they also create The Acolyte, which is one of the worst Star Wars shows of all time. And then we get to fucking Andor, and apparently it's great. Like, people have been saying it's great, and it kind of reminds me of the reception that people had to like Arcane season 1, where there's just like nothing but praise. You know, it's kind of crazy. And then in terms of like the other TV shows, like Mando season 1, people were pretty interested in it. And then Mando season 2, we had that final episode where that character shows up, and people were hyped as hell. They were hyped when Luke showed up. But now I think people are starting to realize, oh, that Luke cameo was kind of like fan servicey in a bad way. And then Mando season 3 came out, and then I don't remember people really talking about it. Like, it seems as though people fell off after season 3. Book of Boba Fett was generally disliked. Ahsoka, I mean, I don't really know who likes Ahsoka except if you're like a Rebels fan. Well, we talked about Acolyte. And then Skeleton Crew, I have no fucking idea. No one's talked about that show. So I have no idea how people feel about it. But yeah, I mean, it's good in a sense to have something that unites the fan base, because we've just been so split apart for so long. Like, we had the sequel era and TLJ broke it, and then we were kind of united in our hatred of Tross, but now we're united in a positive direction, and I think that's good. I mean, yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Like, there's no really denying the fact that the franchise isn't as good as it was pre-2012. Because, like, yeah, pre-2012, we were like, yeah... Well, actually, no, we weren't even united back then, because we had the prequelists and the prequel haters. So the prequelists were defending the prequels, and the prequel haters were saying, no, they're shit. So we weren't even really united back then. So I guess, yeah, we're more united now because of one TV show. But at the same time, it's not really a good trade-off. Like, you give us 3 sequels that are complete dog shit, and then 2 spin-off films, which people don't really care about, except for Rogue One. But again, I explained why people like that film. And then a bunch of shitty TV shows, and then one good TV show. One good one. That lasted for 2 seasons. And it's like, really? You've owned this franchise for almost 13 years, and the trade-off is some really shit films, some really bad TV shows for one good 2-season TV show. Like, fuck off. Come on. I mean, really, I think that the best case scenario at this point would be like, George comes in and he's like, just give me the franchise back, guys. Like, people fucking hate you. Just give it to me. And then Disney, seeing how they've kind of devalued the franchise, say, okay, George, fuck it. And then they sell it to him for, I don't even know how much. I mean, I think originally it was what? George sold it for $4.4 billion, so he could probably buy it back for 2 at this point. I mean, maybe 1, considering how badly it's been, like, devalued. And then, honestly, at that point, I would just like George to come out with a statement, obviously, where he's like, hey, guys, nothing that Disney did since 2012 to whatever date, it's not canon anymore, right? Like, all the sequels, all the spin-offs, all the TV shows, and that would include Clone Wars Season 7, and Andor, and Acolyte. So, like, even the stuff that people like would have to be decanonized. And I would be okay with that. That's the best case scenario. He buys the franchise back. He says, hey, we're going to decanonize everything Disney did. And then Star Wars just goes back to how it was, like, pre-2012. Where we can continue to argue over whether the prequels are shit or not. And we can enjoy fucking Battlefront 2 and KOTOR 1 and 2. And we can, fucking Empire War, Force Unleashed, Force Unleashed 2. Like, back in the day, man, we had it so good. Fucking Jedi Outcast, Jedi Academy. Holy shit. But, yeah. I mean, despite everything that Disney has done, I don't really... I'm an exhausted fan. I'm not a disillusioned fan. Like, I do think that Star Wars has potential. I mean, Andor showed that Star Wars still has potential. But I just want this franchise to be consistently good again. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I mean, I've kind of, at this point, given up hope on ever having a good Star Wars film ever again. Like, I don't think Mando and Grogu is going to be good at all. I think it's going to be kind of shit. But, you know, we can at least have, like, good TV shows and good games and good novels and good comics again. I'm fine with that. But, yeah. And plus, I don't think George would have any drive to remake the sequel trilogy. Like, after Disney apparently threw away his ideas, like his initial scripts for the sequel trilogy, and did their own thing, I just don't think he has that drive anymore. So, he would just leave the series, like, as is, I guess. You know, discounting all the Disney stuff. So it would just be episodes 1 through 6. And I'm okay with that. I mean, it's weird that people are starting to realize that, like, people are starting to pay attention to, like, who's in charge and stuff. Like, if you had asked a Star Wars fan back in, like, 2013, hey, do you know who Kathleen Kennedy is? They would have no fucking idea who she is. But now people know who Kathleen Kennedy is. Now people know who Dave Filoni is. Now people know who Jon Favreau is. And, like, I remember, what was it, a couple months ago? Like, Kathleen Kennedy stepped down from her position, and people were celebrating that. And then there was, like, this sudden awakening of people on the internet that, hey, Dave Filoni might not be a good writer. Like, it's possible he's kind of shit. And maybe we should go back and look at, like, TCW and Rebels and be more critical of it. And I also think that Jon Favreau is part of the problem, too. Like, yes, it was a good thing that Kathleen Kennedy stepped down. But we also need to get Dave Filoni out of there. And we also need to get Jon Favreau out of there. Like, if Star Wars is doomed to be under the control of Disney forever, then those 3 people need to go. I mean, one of them's already gone, but the remaining 2, Filoni and Favreau, they need to go. We need to inject fresh blood into Lucasfilm in order to make sure that the franchise can keep any fucking small semblance of quality. What else? I mean, again, like, of course we all want George to get the franchise back, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I would love it to happen, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I don't know. I still love this franchise, even if I keep getting treated to, like, absolute dog shit. But every once in a while, I get that fucking oasis. It's an oasis in the desert. It was called Andor, but now the oasis is gone, and we're back to the regular fucking Star Wars made by Disney sludge. And it's like, this franchise could be good again. It really could. I'm tired of hearing how this franchise is cursed and it hasn't been good since, like, the 80s and shit. I'm tired of it. I want Star Wars to be good again. And I think it can be good again. But it's going to take a fucking miracle. So, thank you for listening to me rant about this franchise that I love for, how long are we going? Like, oh my god, 14 minutes? Jesus Christ. So, it's a bit rambly, but, yeah. Thank you guys.